Oh man, it says we're live. Oh, I gotta switch the thing, don't I? There we go. Alright. I think Twitch is just out of luck today. I'm gonna hit the button once, and if nothing happens, nothing happened. I'm not even gonna try and fix it. Twitch can just continue to suck. So YouTube only today. Hello, hi. How's it going, Blaze? Oh, man. So today's music is 8-bit workout mix. 2 hours of NES bangers. So we'll see. So far, they've been pretty good. A lot of Contra music. If Spark Mandrill stage isn't in here, it's gonna be a 0 out of 10. But so far, it seems pretty good. Anyway, we can get rid of all this. So mostly we're just gonna hang out. What's up, Wisp? Ain't seen you in a chat in a while. And Mustache. Mustache, I seen your messages. I was actually willing to chat about that on here. If it doesn't dox us too bad. I'll probably get my own room too, is what I'll do. Just like we're doing out there, but whichever, I'll get at the same hotel. So we don't have to do any extra driving. And there's Sage, and twice dead mage and Sage, or twice dead Star Hat Sage. Just mix it all together. So we're just, like I said, just hanging out because I didn't know what to stream and I didn't want to start a new project. I know we talked about Mouse Ritter post-apocalyptic thing, but I need to look into their OGL a little bit. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's fine, but I also didn't want to start something new because I have so many other things going on. So I thought we'd just hang out, look at all the disaster I have on my plate, and we might dig into Nuts a little bit, because Nuts has been sitting there doing nothing. I mean, we played a game pretty recently where I tried just tweaking a little thing here and there to make it fit a setting better, but not like an overall system change. So, and that's something we can check out and talk about today. But Nuts needs to do something. Either just publish it as the PowerPoint it is, or try and do a Kickstarter and get a bunch of art, because I would love to get more art from Peter's wife. As a matter of fact, even if the Kickstarter doesn't work, I will probably buy the art anyway. But if the Kickstarter can fund some of it, but considering I don't plan on selling the game, it makes the Kickstarter a little weird, a little more complicated. And I've kind of been dragging my feet because I wanted to wait till Peter's Kickstarter got done, because he said he was going to do a big video talking about all the ins and outs of Kickstarter. So I was kind of waiting on that. Not that it's going to have a lot of effect, I don't think, on a Nuts Kickstarter, because the Nuts one is going to be very unorthodox, we will say, for the way Kickstarter normally goes, because the end product is free, whereas Moss and Stone will be more of the traditional type of Kickstarter. I figured just how cheap we want to go. Hey man, I like cheap. Well, I don't like cheap rooms, but I'm willing to sleep in cheap rooms to save money. It's only one night. Yeah. We can be super cheap. Pasta casserole, smelling so good. Well, that could be a lot of things. I mean, technically spaghetti pie is a pasta casserole, so I need more details, Blaze. Ooh, excuse me. Creation of looping squirrels outside stream. Yeah, I got confused. I think I finally figured out what you were talking about, but we're not doing that today. We're just gonna enjoy the tunes. So yeah, that's Nuts, Moss and Stone. And I will say, it's been a pretty good few days because I've finally been getting some writing done again. I went because my main stories are kind of on hold for a little while longer, which reasons we may or may not get into. But I just decided to go off and write a short story for Moss and Stone, and it wrapped up right about the 20,000 word mark. And it was super cool. The Moss and Stone world is just ripe for some storytelling. It was a lot of fun. It was a good little adventure. And of course the squirrel was mostly the main character. Squirrel and a mouse. It was good. It was good. So I would kind of like to do something with that, maybe as a stretch goal, like have it ship with Moss and Stone. I don't know. It would be neat if I could work my way into this weird niche where people wanted short story introductions to the worlds they're making for their TTRPGs. Like, imagine a Clock World short story for Tales from Elsewhere, or Sage's project, Zellerin, you know, just a little short story that just puts you in that world, instead of just a big info dump. It's like, oh, hey, this is a good little popcorn read, you know? Could be fun. All right. Let's see. Don't forget, Deo. I don't know how you pronounce that. Oh, and oh no, it didn't. It's right there. Don't forget, Deo. I'm gonna get Earth Power for cheap rooms. Pasta, veggies, tomato sauce, and lots of cheese on top. Gouda? Is that supposed to be Gouda? Gouda and mozzarella. That sounds good. Are there humans in Moss and Stone? Nope. Also, there was a message and then it went away. Maybe they'll come back. Stories that facilitate games instead of games that are made for stories. Well, stories that facilitate games instead of games. So the game would still be the same. It would still be, you know, still be Moss and Stone or whatever game you're talking about. It would just be using that game to tell a story that introduces that world. Like, gives you a real good immersive, oh, this is what it's like in this world when you're not rolling dice and waiting for players to make decisions, right? Yeah, Crested Hadrosaur, if you're still around, hi, hello. Just got done working out. Look at you, buff boy. My little noodle arms. You've been tricked into reading a failed novelist. Am I ready to get ready for that? Yeah. That's the thing. Well, and that's what... See, I started off writing and then got into the TTRPG scene. So, like, I get the comment, and I understand that's what a lot of TTRPGs are, but I can honestly say it doesn't apply. It's like, no, I was a published novelist twice over, 3 times over, by the time I got into the TTRPG space, so I can throw that back at them. And one of those was even traditionally published in the UK, of all places. It was a short story, but it counts. Got to burn off that winter fat. That's true. It's true. It is warm. I'm about to have to shed a layer here too. It's warming up in here. Any new updates on the potential TTRPG publish? So I am working with those people. She has, for now, strayed away from the TTRPG scene. She still like tries to get some people. As a matter of fact, she was talking to someone recently. It was an older gentleman, from what I understand, who is new to the hobby, and he wanted to write an adventure module. And she was like, well, I can't help you with that, but I can set you up with scrap. So she's not taking the work herself yet. She's focusing right now on normal books, you know, in whatever genre, fantasy, romance, science fiction, whatever. She's taken a pretty widespread. But she's busy focusing on that and training up her new hires, which technically one of them is me. I don't know the experience level of the other people. I know they have some writing background, but I don't know how serious they were taking it. But they're nice folks. They're all nice people. I've done some work with them. Matter of fact, we're tag teaming a project coming up, and we're supposed to be meeting today or tomorrow. But as far as her taking TTRPG work, that's kind of getting shelved for now, which is probably a good thing, because she needs more experience in the TTRPG space before she gets into that. But I mean, I'm still for hire. But I haven't heard from that gentleman she was talking about. I told her to give him my information, so we'll see. Sounded pretty interesting. Sorry, wanted to reword my comment. How's everyone doing? How is everyone's project? Okay. I figured that's all it was. I just wanted to make sure YouTube, for some reason, didn't auto-mod you. It hadn't happened yet, but always worry. Suggest checking out adventure magazines for trying to write in an adventure. Yeah. That's the thing. I'd like to talk to that guy and see how new and inexperienced he is and what he's planning to do, because she was saying it was a D&D adventure module, and if he's new, probably But she was trying to tell me, oh, you don't have the experience for this yet. And I'm like, oh, how's the inexperienced person going to tell another person that they don't have enough experience? So I don't know. Okay, that criticism is usually kept on the chamber for more crunchy games. Azag makes good use of micro stories into the game. Yeah, see, that's something I'm gonna... Alright, guys. You're gonna have to get the donations coming in. I'm about to start stripping. I'm hot. Time to get naked. Don't tell YouTube. But say, I haven't seen much as far as storytelling with TTRPGs go. I mean, obviously you do a lot of storytelling in your TTRPG, right? But as far as, hey, here's this written product, I know... Please do not strip. I know... Well, I guess I can't say I know for a fact, but what I have heard from many an editor, many a publishing house, is if a story comes across their desk and anywhere in your sales pitch for this story is mention of this was inspired by my D&D campaign, or this was based off an adventure I had playing TTRPGs, they don't even read it. It goes right to the bin, just instantly. So that's what I've heard many, many times over. And I understand why. I do understand why. Because there's a pretty solid chance, there's a very high chance that that's going to be a very crap story. And when you work in an editing house, publishing house, time is precious. So you don't want to waste your time on something that is most likely going to be garbage. You just, and then move on to the next thing. Because you're looking for something that will make money when you work in those type of environments. Now me, I mean, you're going to pay me by the hour. So I'm like, yeah, I'll read it. I'll edit it. Like, I don't care whether it sells or not. I will... If you're interested in that kind of thing, I will talk to you and be like, yeah, you know, it's probably not going to sell very well, or I don't know, maybe it'll do well. But if it's a story you want to tell, let's work on it. So. Project is progressing slowly. Been cooking for 3 years. Hey, man. Food's best when it's slow cooked, just saying. Which is funny, because I always tell people, you know, if they've been working on a story for multiple years, I'm like, Twice Dead can vouch for me. I'll tell you to just put it down and do something else, because it's been cooking too long. I don't know about TTRPGs, though. I feel like they can cook too long, too, but I don't know what that cutoff point is. There's a lot of Contra music in this mix. Hang on. Oh, it doesn't actually say. Oh, there, Contra. Okay. There's Mega Man 2 Wily Fortress 1. Of course that one's in here. Okay. Looks like the only Mega Man one, though. So anyway, let's just do some doodling here. How about we'll make YouTube red? This is what I have on my plate. YouTube. Can we make that extra large? This is... I love Excalidraw, but there's one thing that drives me nuts, okay? This is the biggest you can make text. Now, obviously, you know, you can zoom in and do this, but the reason this is so frustrating, because look, here's the pen tool. And this is the middle of the road pen thickness. Look how much thicker that everything else. And here's the skinniest one you can do. So it's like, wait a minute, why shouldn't it match? So it's like, it's frustrating. It frustrates me. Because then when I start drawing arrows, like, they don't match, and it's all blobby looking. That's just me being anal. I've been taking a break from working on it, and I've actually been playing some games. That's actually good, though. Taking a break and then coming back later give you a fresh perspective. I've been working on a Shanacon World Shaper for 7 years. Should I drop it? Well, see, that's the difference, right? World Shapers is done. Like, your core mechanics work. Though you did make one tweak to a core mechanic not too long ago, but you know, it is a fully functional game, and you're just adding more content. Like, you're not every month changing the way rules work, right? So that's fine. Though if it were a video game, I would absolutely tell you to stop and go make another, World Shapers 2. An adventure can just be go kill rats in a basement. Yeah, you got quest giver, you got location, smells good wood. It's really adventure. Is it really an adventure? Did we make any friends along the way? All those 70s and 90s Lord of the Rings and D&D inspired, those books can last us 3 times. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I have your bestest joke. It was a good joke. Anyway, so there's YouTube. The YouTubelets. I'll put it over here. Yeah, y'all can see that. And then there's we'll call them regular videos. Excuse me. Those would be what used to be every 2 weeks. Used to be every 2 weeks. You will notice I haven't made a video in about a month. But the streaming content has also shot up significantly. So, which is fine, because I like streaming. It's significantly less work. But it's also fun, because this is, instead of it being so much of a one-way conversation, like, okay, here, let me craft my message to the world and then post it, and it's all a one-way conversation, and then comments come in, and it's like, this is a little more one-on-one, right? A little more engagement. I like it. Oh man, that looks good, Blaze. If you're fine with it, I'm gonna post that for everyone to see. What happens when you send me images? I'll wait for your permission though. But the reason, some of you already know this, the reason the streaming picked up, and I have to be careful what I say, because technically this is confidential, and I don't know how much of it I'm allowed to say. YouTube's been they've been hand-picking content creators for different things, like shopping, memberships, live streaming, I don't know. I got pulled into the live streaming group, and I thought that was weird, because I was like, I don't do that much. Like, I do a live play here and there, and Moss and Stone, like, that's it. And they're like, no, based on our stuff. They wouldn't tell me what exactly. They're like, we want you to focus on more streaming. And they gave me the challenge of like, hey, try and do 10 live streams during the month of February. And I was like, all right. Couldn't have picked a shorter month, but all right. And I did it. And that's why we had so many streams in February. And I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that and continuously make a video every 2 weeks. Especially with the video I am currently on, I was like, I definitely don't want to try and squeeze that one out in 2 weeks. That video is currently about an hour and a half long or more. So it's going to be a long one, but it's a lot of interviews with other people because it's about a game designed for children and their development when they have special needs, like autism and ADHD and Asperger's and divorcing parents and alcoholism in the family and stuff like that. It's a really interesting project. So I'm having to interview counselors and psychologists and PhDs, right? So it's been very fun, but it's not my normal type of video, so I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, let's see. Then you can both. Yes, you can share it. Okay, good. Looky there. I had it ready to go. Look what Blaze made. Does that not look tasty? It looks kind of like a lasagna. Different mediums make. Still waiting on the ASMR? What? Squirrel eating cornbread ASMR? Whee! Alright. We're just gonna leave that here because that looks good. We'll put it over there for now. Ah, makes me hungry. So anyway, regular videos. So we'll say TTRPGs, families, and brains. I still don't know what to call this one. And I'm wondering if this video is going to draw in a lot of new people. Depending on how I title and label it, it might. Like if I focus on the autism side, that might draw in a lot of new people. Which would be nice, but if they think I'm going to make all kinds of autism, ADHD content, it's like, no. Just one. I can share how it looks on the inside once it's cooled down. Yeah. Eat that rather than the rice. Yeah, man. I mean, that looks good. It's full of cheese. All right. So streams. This is where it gets cool. So we have Moss and Stone development. We have interviews. We have live plays, which, speaking of interviews, I mentioned it on my post, but I imagine he didn't see it because he didn't hang on his YouTube very much. The guy who made Adventurous, he's actually made a lot of content. He's been cranking out a lot of Shadow Dark adventure modules. But Adventurous is a pretty cool project of his. I thought it was really neat. And I did a review for it a long time ago, and he just did a 2.0, but he's making a solo version of it. So I'd like for him to come on and show off a solo run. That would be cool. I guess this should be... Oh, I know this one. This is level 2 from Contra. That's the interview. We got Discord trying to nuke itself. Your artistic tip. Right? SEO work is both interesting and painful. It is. And yeah, I just watched this video yesterday. It was by a guy I'd never heard of before, but it came across my feed, and he was talking about the second channel dilemma, and he got in a bunch of big YouTubers that had started second channels, like Oz the Waz or whatever his name is. He was the only one I actually recognized. But you know, I was watching it and they made a bunch of good points, and I'm over here like, yeah, the second channel issue is not unique to large channels. Like, it's small channels suffer from it too, or at least I do, and that might be because I'm doing it very wrong. But that's because I have TTRPG reviews, people are here for that, and then I have writing content, people are here for that, but they're very split. And I've talked about it in Discord before, how I wish instead of channels, you had a YouTube station. Like a Squirrel Plays would be a station, and then under a Squirrel Plays are the individual channels. So you would have TTRPG reviews only, that's a channel. Writing content, that's a channel. Live plays, that's a channel. And then you just subscribe to the ones you want. That way you're all getting funneled into a Squirrel Plays, you know, and I'm getting the metrics, I'm getting the data, I'm getting the views, blah, 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 and I don't have to manage multiple channels. And then I can see, you know, like, oh, most people are subscribed to, let's say, the writing content. I know that's what they want specifically. I know to focus on that more, you know, where to spend my time and resources. And the better thing would be that way, okay, you know, I still have this small audience that likes TTRPG reviews, but so I have that small viewer base that likes it, and that's all they watch. So when I make a TTRPG review video, it goes to just them. It doesn't put it in front of everybody else and then kill my click-through and then kill the video and then harm the channel. Like, nope, it just goes to those people that have said they're interested in it. And it doesn't mess with the people who have said they're not interested in it. So that way I'm still getting to make multiple types of content. People are getting what they want. But the only theory I have why YouTube doesn't go that route is because that would make things more difficult for advertisers and sponsors and all that. Because when one channel is shoehorned into one thing, one whole channel, the advertiser knows what they're getting into. So, whereas if a YouTuber has, you know, their station and one channel, is calm, cozy, non-controversial, and does really well, then they want to, they want to advertise on that one. But he has this other channel that's super controversial and says a bunch of things they don't like. It's like, well, those are tied together, right? And then it's like, should we advertise on that one? Because over here he does it, it's all about the money. Oh, we got more food pictures. We got more food. Looks pretty good, man. That looks pretty good. I don't know about the carrots, though. Definitely weird. What is weird? Star Hat. I think I may have already asked that. Outside of YouTube, I already said that. Scrap blink 3 times if YouTube is holding you at gunpoint. No, it was actually pretty fun. I have enjoyed the little meetings, and it's been very interesting. It's been weird to be on those calls, because like I'm usually the smallest one there by a pretty wide margin. It's like I'll be sitting in the call, this person over here has got 100,000, this one over here has got 1 million subs. It's like, what am I doing here? This is still kind of neat to talk to a lot. There was one call we were in. It was some Lego channel. I'd never heard of him. He had some pretty cool stuff he was showing off. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And they're like, what do you do? And I was like, I'm still trying to figure that out. Let's see. The music is very quiet, isn't it? Well, we can turn it up. Hola Soy German was the biggest. Hola Soy German was the biggest channel in the Spanish-speaking side of YouTube years. Left it all for a game channel. Wow. The second channel is the thing that could make or break it. Yeah. Well, and that's what was interesting, because that video I was watching, a lot of their second channels did better, and they were thinking, yeah, because I don't have the pressure on that second channel. My second channel is usually my dumping ground. It's where I just turn the camera on, hit record, and whatever comes out, comes out. It doesn't have to be this fine, edited, produced thing. It is very good. It looks very good. Mr. Blaze. People do that anyway, separate channels though. It causes the game. Yeah, but see, multiple channels is more work. Whereas if it was all under one station, it'd be easier to manage. And it would, I feel like it would be easier for everybody in the long run, minus advertisers. The squirrel may be small, but that does not mean that is not great. It's alright. I mean, I'm meeting a lot of people, which has been super cool. Lots of critter energy. If you had 100 million subs to your station, but you go to game reviews, gun reviews, and girl reviews, they're not sure what products to send you. Yep. It's not like channel is the only thing that matters. Once you get big enough, you become a brand. That too. And there's that certain miracle stage. I don't know where the line is drawn, but when you get so big, you might not be able to do whatever you want, but you can make a video whenever you want. See H Bomber guy. That's the point I would like to be at. It's like, yeah, Scrat doesn't post very often, but when he does, it's a banger every time. So anyway. Speaking of, we're gonna put that there, and I will ttrpg reviews, writing things, and we'll say ttrpg things. That's kind of where my content is. Get it. This is what I'm currently working on. We'll make it green. This is kind of both. It's not specifically a review, it is about TTRPGs in general. Using one specific one as an example. When you reach 100 million subs, remember that I was the first one to sponsor you. And add discount. Yeah, man. Will do. I'll get to 100 million subs by not talking about TTRPGs and then sponsor a TTRPG. H-Bomber guy hit the leftist video essayist like crack hit poor. He did something, man. My introduction to him was probably the same as a lot of other people, and it was the plagiarism video. That video was so good. Frickin' James Somerton. He got shut down pretty hard. Career-ending video. So anyway, these are all currently going as well. Every time he drops, it leaves it. See, and that's what I would like to be. It's like, yeah, because, and this has been my beef with YouTube a lot. It's like you get squished and forced into this production cycle, and I feel like many YouTubers, big and small, can confirm. You get so focused, or you feel like you have to produce something every so often. For me, it was every 2 weeks. And there are so many videos that went out where I don't feel like I had anything to say, and I was just looking for something to say so I could make a video. And then a lot of videos went out that I wasn't very happy with. It's like, no, this could be a lot better. Now, obviously, everything you do could be better, but there's also this point of like, no, this should have been better. This needs to be better, but I have that schedule to hit. And because I was hitting that schedule, I think that's what got me into the little YouTube groups, because they were like, hey, you're a consistent uploader. So it's like, yeah. And it's been proven time and time again, if you do not constantly upload, people forget about you and then drift off to the next thing. Now, that's fine. My issue and big question is like, okay, people have subscribed because they want to see me, so when I make a video, why do you not put me in front of them? Not me specifically. Like, Skolagrim has been suffering from that, and he's got over 1 million subscribers, but all of a sudden YouTube stopped putting his videos in front of people. And all the people in the comments are like, why are your videos not in my feed? I am subscribed to you. I have hit the bell. Like, what is going on? YouTube will just deem you irrelevant, despite, in his case, and many other cases, literal millions of people subscribing to you and telling YouTube, I want to see this content. So, I don't know what's going on there. Small theory is that content like that, that's a little more dense and requires you to focus a bit more, people that comes on their feed and they hit save for later because they want to be able to focus on it and then go watch something easier, for lack of better words. And then YouTube, on YouTube's end, they just say, okay, he'd rather watch this easy one, and they just feed you more easy stuff because, you know, whatever it takes to keep you on the platform. Yeah, there's a difference between doneness and taste. Just ask someone when they eat another. Good point. Alright. So that's the YouTube world. I feel like maybe red looks like it has a problem, I'm gonna be honest. Alright. But we'll make it red because it's YouTube. So alright, Blaze, I gotta move your pictures here. Whoop. Alright, so that's YouTube. Now here's the stuff y'all don't get to see. ttrpgs. Yeah. Boy, it's about to get interesting. Y'all gonna learn the secrets. So there's nuts. Y'all know that one. Then there's moss and stone. Why is it not? Oh, did I hit the wrong thing? There we go. And I'm gonna do this. Woo. No, I moved your food. When I get around to 1+ hour content, it's usually near sleeping hours. Yeah, it's just because you can't have it. It's true. It's true. I got like some, I can't say it's lentil chili, but it's like lentil chili because it is chili with lentils in it, but it also has venison in it. It's very good. It was pouring it over some noodles, but I ran out of noodles. It's Swords and Stones. Now, here's the secrets that y'all don't know about. If I can spell it right. There's another one I'm working on. And then there's another one. I have no idea what to call the other one. It's just about animals and critters. Big surprise, I'm sure. So those are things. Not actively working on them. These ones I'm actively working on. Take all my notes and compile them into something usable. It is pretty good, Blaze. It's pretty tasty. I hadn't had lentils in a while. Good filler. I forgot how much they soak up all your seasoning, though. You gotta, like, really fill it. Critters game. Yeah, man. With some very unreliable magic. That one I want to make character creation be more interesting. Based off your animal. The backlog, yeah. Those are the only ones that have enough substance to be considered in the backlog. Obviously, I have bits and pieces of ideas for a bunch of other things, but so what I do is I have a document every time I think of a mechanic, a setting, an idea, just throw in that document. And then you can start picking out your ideas and forming something more coherent. Critters be banging? Wow, that's a statement, isn't it? Now there's also... Does that not? Okay, I guess I just didn't have it hooked on there, right? Some merkin. I don't know what that is. We're about to find out, though. We're just hanging out. We're not in a hurry. Oh, actually, one thing I forgot to tell y'all. So I've been doing a bunch of stream settings changes. And if y'all remember last stream, we had a hiccup about the 1 hour mark. I did some research. Think I found out what caused that. Basically, my internet pipes got clogged up. So I changed something right before the stream today. Says we're healthy. But if y'all start buffering and stuttering, you let me know. And then we'll figure out Twitch another day. Merkin. Spice mix? Merkin is a traditional Chilean spice blend from those people that I can't pronounce, featuring smoky, earthy, and slightly spicy flavors from smoked chili peppers, salt, coriander, and cumin. Oh, that sounds good. I had to get me some of that. Savor. I was just about to try and remember what the place was I get my spices from, and there it was, like 3 links down. Chilean Merkin seasoning. Oh, they spell it different. They spell it Merquuen. Smoky and citrusy with a touch of salt and heat from goat's horns chilies. Perfect for grilled meats and pretty much. I'm gonna try it. Twice did. Next, I think we're about due for an order on spices. Tell you what. Twice did. I'm gonna put this in the chat. You can tell me. You can tell me if it meets the standards. You add dried peppers too. Lentil chili, yes, Sage, it's very yummy. Lentils are good. And they're very filling. But I discovered lentils during COVID when prices were skyrocketing. It's like, I need cheaper filler. Tons of ideas, mixing them into something that looks like a system is a challenge. Yep. It's a word in Mapazungan. Has a dozen written forms. That's fair. Anyway, big document of ideas, and so this was the other thing here. Kickstarter, which we'll get into. So this is where my original plan, because we know plans always go as intended. For Nuts, what I was gonna do was make the game, release it free, and then make modules. And in the modules, I was let me show you my fantastic work here. Some of you have seen Nuts, and you know how it works. That's a good skill to show here. There's like one of the most simplest skills in the game, right? So there's 12 shells, just skills, and they're very loosey-goosey. Just flavor them how you want. You get the basic rundown of how they work. Like this one's super simple. You do 1 point of extra damage. Totally up to you how you want to make that happen. It's got some other things it does too. But whether that's a bazooka, a knife in the right spot, you know, whatever, up to you. So I thought I was going to make modules that really leaned into the lore of new settings, and then I was going to provide new shells. But as I was trying to make new modules, I realized these are super redundant. Like, I'm just basically making the same thing and just moving it around a little bit. And that's when I had the realization, oh, duh, that's because the shells are working as intended. They were supposed to fit into multiple different things. So I was like, oh, well, the thing I made works. Who knew? So what I'm thinking about doing for the modules, still the lore dump for a new setting, but then just tweak a couple rules in the game to make it feel more like that setting. So the example would be, you know what? Hang on, we can do this right. So we have this right here is one of the rules in the game. Let's take a breather. It's just how you restore some of your resource that you use for everything in the game. So we played a one-shot recently and everybody was playing as vampires. Like, that was the setting. So it's like, okay, I removed, instead of being able to use this take a breather thing, whenever you have it, you had to have a human body somewhere to feed off of. And it replenished more. It's like it was the same concept, but it had some more nuance to it. To try, you know, just a small little tweak to the base rules to make it feel more like you're in that setting. And another one would be, if I made a post-apocalyptic thing, just add a simple little mechanic for weapon durability, and you have to worry about stuff breaking. Just easy, just a little something to put in there and make it feel more like that setting instead of redoing all the shells. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. If that, I might just come up with a handful of them and put it right in the base system and say, there you go, here's some ideas for different settings, go nuts. No pun intended. Let's see. Lentils are awesome, but can be dangerous if you eat too much. Oh yeah? Do you get too full? Have I been eating too much? Do you get gassy? Joke's on you, I'm always gassy. Base game equals free add-on mods, $5. Well, that was the route I was going. Free game and then modules for like a couple bucks. Depending on how involved they got. The bastards at Savory Spice have my country blocked. That's terrible. That's rude. So an attempt at fixing the generic system problem. Well, see, that's a funny thing. Like, I did not like system or setting agnostic systems, but I felt like sometimes they could be kind of cheap. And then I made Nuts. Technically, Nuts started as a fantasy game, and then I was trying to make the skills generic so you could flavor them however you want, and then I saw it as a challenge, and I was like, can I make this fit every setting? I can't. It works better as a fine powder rather than flakes. If it is flakes, you can make it into a powder, that's true, and you can get to add things you like. It's flakes. Well, that's just one. They might have more. That's just what came up. Alright, bye. I will say, there's another one too. I'm just gonna leave it at that. That is another one I've had on the back burner for a while. But, you know, then I got wrapped up with Moss and Stone, right? So Nuts kind of got put on the back burner. And I don't even know how to word this. I really enjoyed making the world and lore for Moss and Stone. It has really developed into something cool. It was nice. Easy D6 is a solid system. Everything works. So it was very convenient to just use that and plug some things into it and just basically be done with it. I do need to do more testing, but I haven't had to do much. Everything we've done has been pretty solid right out of the gate. You know, pat myself on the back there. But that's because, like I said, Easy D6 is already super solid, and I'm not changing a whole lot. So I'm just working with what's already there. And at $10, they ripping you off a jar of that small ain't worth. Well, it might be $10 for you. Though I think it was $10 for me too. It is. Okay. Never mind. You can save money and just get the bag, which is usually what we do since we have jars. You need to play Easy D6. It's super fun. Hey, you want to play some Moss and Stone? I need some players. Let's do it. I've been trying to use base 44 to make a realistic detail. Oh boy. So we might get into the Kickstarter later. Alright, now let's look at the other things that are going on behind the scenes as you get to know Scrat and what he's working on. The whole reason I started YouTube was to support this, the writing. Like, it was supposed to get an audience, right? And then the TTRPG community was like, nah, you're gonna come be one of us, and you're gonna make TTRPG stuff. So, y'all so nice. But seriously, like, the channel started off, I cast a wide net. I was just going to talk about storytelling and mechanics because I found them both interesting, and I was going to talk about video games, movies, TV shows, TTRPGs. You know, it's like, hey, if it's storytelling or mechanic related, we're going to talk about it. And I think it was the Easy D6 review probably that got everybody's attention, and that's why I had so many TTRPGers all at once. So. One of us, yeah. Hell yeah. I'm not complaining, like, it's been super awesome getting involved with this community. And like I said, meeting a lot of people, and just, it's been really crazy to see the, you know, some big name creators, some small creators just reach out and like, hey, I want to work with you. It's like, resistance is futile. It really is. But I can't ignore. So we have Kesho Knight Legends, which is oh, here it is. That's this. So this is the one book I got out not before I started my channel, like right after I started. Or was it before? I don't know. They were pretty close together. But anyway, you'll see it says Kesho Knight Legend under there. And the idea is multiple stories that take place in the same world / universe, but you can read them however you want. Every story is standalone. You just, the more of them you read, you will start to recognize places and characters, maybe. But there's a lot of time passing through these stories. So, like this one, that one's super early in the timeline, and then the next one I'm working on is like 1,000 years later or something. So, you're our writer now. We're gonna have soft tacos. Hey, man, I like tacos. So really, what we can do is we can say, this is book 1. Not that it's the first one you need to read. Tell you what. We'll say yellow. Yellow's like in progress, right? And the green is done. We're not gonna see any green. We got one green here. So the Bashkim. And then the next one, you just get the code name abbreviation there. Because I don't know what the title's going to be yet. Unlike Dave, I really hope he's in the chat listening. Unlike Dave, I saved the title for last instead of doing it first. So this one is on hold right now. I don't know how far back, but I hired an editor off of Reedsy. She just didn't. Let's put it that way. She just didn't. And yeah, that's on hold. And then I got wrapped up at some more stuff. So I'm like, let's just, till I can get to that one more reliably. Now, I will put, because I want to do something with the Moss and Stone story. And I have been I used to be able to play this one on guitar. Matter of fact, that guitar right there. Good writing process. I agree. Let's brainstorm a title. Honestly, I would love to just call all my books like one-word names like Bashkim. Redwall-esque. Moss and Stone is. Not this. Or, oh, you mean the way the stories. Yep. I'm sorry. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So anyway, I'm thinking about putting Moss and Stone on Royal Road. Because that's something I've been hearing about. It's just where people post chapters and they gain some traction. So, because I was going to write some other story. It was about squirrels versus birds and put it on Royal Road, but then Moss and Stone came along. So. You make it sound that a 0 on the left had more worth than her. Dude, she didn't do shit. It was awful. And I had to pay her. There's a bug in here. It's a Squirrely Man. Oh, hey, what's up, man? Mark, hey, look, I know you said you get notified on Twitch and watch Twitch more. I'm trying to make Twitch work, but it's not. Oh. The last time I tried to stream, it just streamed a blank screen, and this time it wouldn't even start, so I didn't want to fool with it on this stream, but next stream we'll make some changes and we'll see if it works. Working on a homebrew system of my own, but my current title already exists as a name on YouTube. Oh, bummer. But I mean, you can still use it as long as they're like not both TTRPGs. First, I've heard about reserving a title for later. I usually use the title as my anchoring for a project. I mean, some people do. It's kind of like some people plan their stories. Some people just start writing. That would be me. Chronicles of the Feathered Oak for that squirrel. Ooh. So this, you know what? I'll put it on here because I still want to write it. We'll just call it that. It was supposed to be a mobster kind of story. The squirrel, the main character was a mob boss, a squirrel kind of thing. You know, family was super important, and they make a deal with the birds, the hawks, on how to like share food and stuff. And then mob boss's son breaks that truce by accident by doing something stupid, and you know that starts this whole war. But yeah, they're gonna have like the little fedoras and everything. It's gonna be awesome. Some Souls Let's Player. Yeah, see, you can. That'd be fine. I feel like, from a legal standpoint. Just add a random word at the front. There's already a game called World Shapers, so I call my game a Shanacon. Oh, World Shapers, totally different. That's right. There's probably a few things called. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna go Google. Of course, if I Google World Shapers, yours is gonna come up first, right? World Shapers, empowering thought leaders for global impact. World Shapers is a non-profit that partners with new and established thought leaders to advance solutions I can't even finish reading that. I want to throw up. Global Shapers. World Shaper, full deck reveal and upgrade, Edge of Eternities. I don't know. Hey, there's a Shanacon, World Shapers. World Shaper, Magic the Gathering, Goldfish. Now, a lot of Edge of Eternities, whatever that is. That's funny, though. But really, if you guys want to see this, and just all its glory, this is... I don't have names for any of these, so... There's Dragon Story. There's one that follows dragons. Why didn't it... There we go. Then there's... that was her name. There was one about Gallican. There's one about... I'm raking my brain here. I'm forgetting so many. There's his. Racking the brain. But I mean, that's plenty, right? These are all... These are not just, oh, here's something I want to write. These are things that have been written and explored. Maybe not front to back, but pretty in-depth. This one for Rondi, I was actually working on and kind of got stuck and took my own advice and was like, okay, I'm not going to sit on this forever and, you know, just keep working when it's stuck. I'm just going to put it on the shelf. And then I jumped down to this one. And then I'll come back to it and see if I can make it work. And if I can't make it work, I'll jump onto this next one. So forth and so on. So these are all novels, like big books, not short stories. I might get spoiled on Moss and Stone, though. Writing that short story was pretty nice. It got done a lot quicker. Oh. So let's see. This one we will mark as yellow, because technically it's in the process. It's being worked on. I started this one. I thought about also it might be a fun stream if I don't outline stories. I just start writing. I'll get an idea and then I'll just start writing and I'll write what I can. And then I'll be like, all right, I'm stuck. I'll go back to the beginning because I usually have more information by that point, and I'll write again, get a little farther, and go back up. That's how I do it. But I thought, hey, maybe it'll be a fun stream if I just see if I can plot this entire story, like outline it, see if I can be a planner. Try that. I'm generally against planning a story because I feel like you kind of shoehorn yourself into certain situations, but you don't have to. So I just wanted to try it. What number am I on the list? Oh, wait, I'm too far. Just add a random word. I said that. Inspired by BESM in the cipher system. Just trying to make it more intuitive to how personally. What number? What list? Lays. Oh, are you talking about the search results? You were on the first page. You're like 3 or 4 down. My game had the name Shadow of the Horn Emperor as its first name, Shadow of the Blank Blank as a TTR. Ah! Dang. That's not good. Found out too late. We closing in on Japanese light novel like else here. Oh. I mean, those are just the main characters, right? Bashkim, that is the title of the book, but it was also the name of the main character. But the reason it worked for the title is because his name is... I just sent it to Wes. My nose itches. Allergy time. Bashkiman is an Albanian name meaning union or unity, which is what the book was about. So it made sense to use it as the title. I know this one. But anyway, Fronda is actually the villain in that story, but it's about her. But she is the villain. It's her story because she's an important person in the world. So, I don't know what I want to call that one. Dragon story. But anyway, these 3 are just the main characters of their stories. So that's just what I call the files until I find out what I'm going to call it. The Undersquirrel story. Is it wrong to write Hawks as a squirrel mob boss? New light novel. So, oh man. Well, see, and like what I've done a couple openings for that story, and one I liked was, you know, it's the typical tropey in the rain, it's dark out. The main character, squirrel mob boss, kind of a pudgy little squirrel. He's meeting a hawk, not necessarily in the back alley somewhere, but you know, he meets with this hawk, and they have a little back and forth, and you quickly learn like, oh, these are old friends, like they've known each other, but something is also, they're also talking about a truce being broken, and that things are about to be very bad. And then the squirrel challenges the hawk. He's like, well, what if it was your son? And then the hawk is like, I would do the same thing. And you're not sure what they're talking about, but they keep, you know, the hawk's like, hey, the price has to be paid. You know, that's how this works, blah, 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 blah. So they go back and forth and saying like, hey, man, I really enjoyed the way things were. And then at the end of it, basically the squirrel mob boss gets his knocked out son from the trunk of, that's not a car, but that kind of scene. And he gives his son to the hawk. Because that's the price you got to pay. And then that's something he's got to live with, you know. Let you know, not exactly a kid's story starting off, but it was fun. I'm just not sure where to go with it from there. Like, do we just have an all-out war? But that's why I thought, hey, maybe we'll just plan it all out on stream. You want to see the new art for the pet sub archetype? Is very cute. Yeah, man. Send it away. I think the only book I ever finished was written while I hadn't slept in 5 days and had a fever of 39 Celsius. It was incomprehensible. Those are the best kind. How I felt watching Steins Gate. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I sure do like it. Looky there. Here's just some artwork. That's a pretty cool little critter.
I'll tell you, your artist sure has
Gotten better. And I feel bad saying that at the same time because it sounds like I'm saying they used to suck. But like they have had such a skill increase. Larfy. Yeah. Alright. Way better. Oh yeah. Here, can we... I got an idea. There you go. Watching you. Say these suck maybe harsh, but there's definitely room to improve. Yeah. And improve they did. Alright. So that's what we have going on with YouTube. That's what we have going on with ttrpgs. And that's what we have going on with writing. Like I said, this one's kind of... I'm gonna have some chats in a few days. It might change. Might get that one back on track. Moss and Stone. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Is, like I said, break it up into little sections and then post it on chapter by chapter by chapter on Royal Road. And maybe that'll garner some interest. I don't know. I don't really know anything about Royal Road other than that it exists and apparently a lot of people use it and like it. So I think a lot of lit RPG gets posted on there, which is a genre that exists. I don't know anything about it. I watched an interview of the editor was doing the interview, and I don't want to say I know the editor, like I talk to them regularly, but I was familiar with the editor. And she was interviewing this guy who's a pretty prominent figure in the lit RPG space. And the way he was talking about it was not selling me on it. Like, and he was talking about it like it was a good thing. And the way he was describing it, it's just like, that really sounds like the TikTokification of literature. The way you're describing it. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's sure what it sounds like. The way he was describing it. It just sounded like he was just cranking out, just little bite-sized pieces of content and doing it fast with minimal editing and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, it's like shorts, like TikTok reel or Instagram reels, TikTok videos, YouTube shorts. It's just little things to consume that don't provide much else. And it's like, I don't know about that, Chief. Like, I like a story to have something, you can have your stories that are just something to enjoy, but the ones I want to write have a little more going on. Like a Pixar movie, you can just go watch and enjoy. But there's also a lot more going on with it too, if you want to like break it down and get into it. Multiple levels. That's the stuff I want to make. But hey, she was also cheap. Low skill, low cost. Oh man. Imagine God is an ancient divine parasite, three-faced, the law and the mercy and war, 6 hands, 2 wield the rainbow as a warbow, 2 were wounded, and the last... That sounds like a mushroom trip. It was about evading God's sight after death, trying to sneak your way into heaven. Wow. That's wild. Used to read translated light novels from there. Man, that's a blast. So are you familiar with Royal Road? I mean, it sounds like a cool idea, the way you can just post short stories. And it sounds, what I've been hearing, because the publishing space is the way it is now. Royal Road has kind of become a bit of a sanctuary for certain audiences. And Royal Road has done very well to lift up aspiring authors and new authors. Like they build their fan base on there, and then they post their stuff, and then sometimes publishers will just reach out to them and pick them up. And this was the interesting part about that interview. A lot of writers who are doing their own thing and self-publishing, because of the way things work now, when a publisher reaches out to you, if you already got your community and following and sales, the publisher can't offer you anything that you want because you're already doing it. And they're like, hey, you know, we want to basically rob you, take your story and just give you a small percentage of it while we do some of the grunt work and take most of your money. And this individual that was being interviewed, he had been approached once or twice, or maybe even 3 times, and he was just like, no, like I'm doing fine. I would make less money if I worked with you. Why would I do that? So it's an interesting shift, because there is a big battle in the writing space right now, with publishers and industry might be the better word for it. You know, what is getting pushed out to the stores and the way they're getting pushed out to the stores, which are both problems, but kind of individual problems that just happen to come together and make an even bigger problem. I guess I thought I was gonna die. Sounds like it. Also, what's up, Ollie Canal? Only lightly, but it sounds like it has changed. Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting, Wisp. It does seem like it's in about, like you said, the last decade. It's gone through some growth and some changes, and it has really helped out other people. Because yeah, in the past 10 years or so, I think 15 years or so, the writing industry has just really gone down the toilet. And on multiple fronts, you know, you'll hear a lot of YouTubers and people saying like, oh, they don't like this type of people in the writing space. And, you know, a lot of it's true. But even then, the ones they like, they're still screwing over. When I was high school, I guess, maybe even young adult, when I got out on my own, your advance that a publisher would give you, like when they like your story, was a year's salary. Like, it was enough to live off of, because they're like, hey, we want you to write another one. Here is a year's salary so you don't starve to death. Your advances now are like $500. You don't make beans. And then your royalties are low. On top of that, like, you get screwed. And the reason everything's gotten so low is because they will, what I call, shotgun approach. And for those of you who don't know, a shotgun, instead of shooting a bullet, just poof, it shoots out buckshot, which is a bunch of tiny little pebbles, or whatever you want to call them. Buckshot, you know, and it just spreads. So that's what they do. They will get a ton of stories instead of, you know, doing the work of finding one and trying to shape it up, you know, finding one and then realizing, hey, this has something going for it. Let's shape it into a good story, make it going through the editing process and all that. They just take a bunch of stories now, and I say now, they've been doing it for a while. They take a bunch of stories, and then publishing houses don't even have their own editors anymore most of the time. They just contract all that out. Penguin Press, you know, huge editing or huge publishing company. Most of their editors are contractors, like freelancers, and they just throw it out, and it's like, hurry up, get it done. I don't care the quality, just give it a quick pass. And, you know, they'll mush different types of editing passes together all in one just to get it done. And they'll just throw a whole bunch of stories out and hope one of them sticks. They hope one of them lands instead of trying to make a good one. They're just like, nope, let's just blast it. And I can only half blame them, because, like, you never know what's going to stick and what's going to work, and it would suck doing a bunch of work on a story only to have it not work. So it's a mess. It's a mess, and that's okay, because self-publishing is a thing. You don't have to deal with that. You can just write your story, find your editor, if you can find one that actually does their job, and then publish it. Now, what that gets into that's problematic is marketing. This is why I started a YouTube channel, right? So I could do a little marketing, build a community, build a following. Fumbled that one completely because now I have a TTRPG following instead of a book following. But hey, it's whatever. Now everybody has to do that. So now the marketing market has become oversaturated. I like the way Peter described it when he says it's a very noisy space and you're trying to get heard above everybody else. Like, so everybody just keeps talking louder and louder and louder, and then you have to be louder than the next person. And that's why rage bait exists and all that good stuff, clickbait titles, and it's so noisy. And that same editor that was interviewing this person, I mean, she just came right out and said it. You know, bestsellers you don't write a bestseller, you market a bestseller. And it's unfortunately true. And it's been true for a very long time, right? Marketing has always been the tool for getting anything out there. It can be best thing in the world, but if you can't market it, you're not going anywhere. Obviously, there's the rare exception, but there's the rare exception when something's actually good with no marketing and everybody finds out about it, and then there's the rare exception when something is terrible and everybody finds out about it and still thinks it's great for some reason. So it just a lucky break, right? Question: I have to send out another order of art to my artist, Moonlight Kingdom, and I realized that I have not added a squirrel yet. How would you like if I turned the emitter into a moss and stone squirrel emitting a magic shockwave? Hey man, you have my stamp of approval. 100%. I've done Datura. That's way worse than shrooms, and that's favorite stream. I do like shotguns in video games. Doom shotgun, right? Polishing quartz instead of uncovered. Yeah, that's a very good way of putting it. Yeah. I'm doing visual novels and animation with colored pencils. I teach art. The algorithm brought me. Hey, well, what's up, man? I guess the algorithm's kind of working. We're just kind of hanging out today. We do a lot of TTRPG stuff, which involves writing, artwork. I don't draw. If you go watch any of my videos, you will. This is the art you will see. Like that's my art skill level. A lot of TTRPG stuff, but I am a writer by trade. Is that how they say? It's like, here's my book. I don't know if you were in here when I popped that up earlier. So, writing is what I want to do. But that's very cool. Visual novels. I could not be one of those even if I could draw. I could not do comics like that because I couldn't. Drawing the same thing over and over and over, I would just like claw my face off. But that's very cool though. Visual novels are awesome. And animation with colored pencils. I teach art. So do you have your oh well, thanks man, thanks for the sub. Do you have a channel too? And if so, is it just your profile? I guess I could just click your name and word or see. Go to channel. Looky there, he's got stuff. Look at there, free promotion. Is that what? I won't watch anything. I won't take your views from you. Traditional art. Oh, hey, you got the no AI badge. I remember when that started circling around, and I feel like it kind of dipped off. I was hoping it would take off a little better. Oh, there you go. You're drawing right there. Very cool. Yeah, check it out. Ooh, I reckon, yeah, that's an alien right there. That's pretty cool. Colored pencil tactics. Super cool. You got a dinosaur over there? Do you make well, I guess you probably make all your little, your borders and the little thing like that too. Every time I put my mouse over it, it goes away. But where it says lesson 0 there, you make all that stuff too, probably. See, I do everything in PowerPoint. It started as a joke on the channel, and then I had to commit, so all my thumbnails, everything is made in PowerPoint. I did the squirrel on the thumbnail for this. I did hire an artist, which I kind of did dirty because I wanted to do a big reveal when I finally got that character made, and then fell behind on everything, didn't. And he's done such a fun, good job with it. Let's see. Well, I had to say I didn't make the squirrel in PowerPoint. I just cropped him in PowerPoint. Let's see. Where's the squirrel plays? I need to put him on here. Squirrel pictures. Yeah. Boop. There he is. Igmani.art. He's got some cool stuff. I don't feel like this really matches the rest of his artwork. Not good or bad. I'm just saying. It was deviated from what I felt like it was his norm. But it came out super cool. But his other stuff's super cool too, is what I was trying to say. So he has a range you can do. Very cool stuff though. He's been a lot of fun to work with. Cool drawings. Well, I didn't draw this one. I drew the stick figure. I just deleted. Let's see. The gathering following marketing scares me the most. I have zero skill in that Nordstrom's. I learned feels against it. Yeah, that's what's so frustrating, right? Because I was talking about how it's a noisy space, and because people can do their own thing now, everybody has to be their own marketer. They have to be their own salesman. They have to be their own hype man or woman. And a lot of us, I feel like a lot of creatives aren't cut out for that. As a matter of fact, there's a guy that emailed me. I got to get him on an interview. He's making his own VTT, and he admitted in his emails, I'm really bad at this marketing side. And I was like, oh, that's how most of us creatives are. We like to hide in our rooms and make stuff, not sell them. So it's most similar to his Hansel and Gretel book art. That witch was scary. Animators are some of the people with most will on Earth, or mentally unstable, because no matter the medium is a titanic endeavor. Yep. But that's cool though. Visual novels are awesome. Igmani. Cool guy. The bot still ate your link? Oh, I can put it in there. Here, I'll go get him. Igmani. Matter of fact, we can just... There we go. Yeah, he said he was going to put my squirrel on there. I don't see it yet. Look, there's a little cat in space. He's got some pretty cool stuff. I feel like Twice Did might like some of this. There's some early versions of it. Look at that creepy weird. It gives me nightmares. But yeah, man. That's Igmani. I think, yeah, I was scrolling through this one. Oh, well, I thought there was more to it. It was this character. Whoop. Oh, if I click on that, does that? Oh, that just makes big. Never mind. Well, here we go. I was scrolling through this one, and I saw this, and I was like, I bet he could do a squirrel. And he did. Pretty dope. But anyway. Oh, that's right. I was going to post it. I'm sorry. There's Igmani. My bad. In the chat. Animators are some of the people... Yeah, I read that. On the subject, vector art is a very good alternative, for publishing because scalable, reusable, and easy to alter on the fly. What is it? Inkscape? I think that's the one. A little vector program. I piddled with it. It's fun, but I can't visualize something and put it on paper, said the author. Appeals to readers of books, appeals to the other failed authors of creative TT stuff. The lines down shading for sure. Did you already answer my question, or did I just miss it? Was it about hiring the artist for the squirrel? I was told you I was super down for that. Also, if she wants to, it's gonna sound silly. If your artist wants to draw a barbarian squirrel, I am collecting them. I have, what do I have so far? Actually, we'll just shout out all the artists today. How about this? I got, this is from Sovereign in the chat. It's not, or in the chat, I'm sorry, in the Discord server. It's not a barbarian squirrel. And I don't think he has a website. But we also got this lad. I made a short on him. So, you know, I want to get barbarian squirrels from everybody. I'll say, I got another one. I got another one. This one's actually for nuts. I don't know where my files are. ttrpg. My stuff. Systems. Character art. Here we go. Yeah! Deal with this. It's just too much. Yeah, it's... I don't know how they do it. Been learning how to draw, how to make imitation of wood etchings. Ooh. Oh, if there is an official look for the runestones and what kind of clothes. Oh. No, the Whisper Stones have... They're just random rocks, like they don't have a specific shape, but they do have weird etchings and runes on them that glow blue. I think that's what we're going with. As far as his clothes, it's regular critter attire. If you want to go the route where he just is dressed from here up, that is fine. If you want to put pants on him, that's fine too. As you can see, this guy just has the belt, and then this one has the belt and a leaf covering the goods, which I think is funny. Oh, if there's official... Let's see. Inkscape was so hard for me to use. I've spent years learning Autodesk. Ooh, Autodesk. Apparently it leans into illustration programs I have no experience in. I hate Autodesk. But you know why. We were both in the CAD field. I was the SolidWorks guy, so I was paid to hate Autodesk. When is your birthday? Might get you a barbarian squirrel. Ooh, it is May 16th. It's coming up. Oh, Glee already said so. Dang it. Alright, well, now everybody knows. So anyway, visual novels, very cool. Animation, cool, all that. I'll go watch some of your videos after this. See if I can learn how to draw. Alright, Glee, since you're in the chat now, what other projects do I have going on here? Oh! There's YouTube. There's Moss and Stone interviews, ttrpg live plays. And then the current video I'm working on. The yellow ones are what's currently in progress. TTRPGs, I have Moss and Stone and Nuts. That's what I'm currently working on. I don't enjoy it either, but it works with my head. And I live in Canada. That's true. That's true. I guess this... I can't say that's in progress, but it is the next step. And that's kind of what I meant to talk about a bit when we got here. And then these are the novels and writings I have in the works. How broad do you want to get with projects? Let's not put chores on the list and things I'm supposed to be doing around the house. Those don't count. Woodworking is like... Yeah, that's why I said let's not go down that route. Oh, man. That's a distraction. Alright. So I guess, yeah. So the Kickstarter. Some more Maggie Man music. Surprised that's on here. So I had said earlier, it's probably going to be unorthodox, non-traditional. Because usually, you know, you're making a product on Kickstarter that you're going to sell. This is just going to go on to DriveThruRPG for pay what you want. So it seems weird to ask for money from people for something they won't have to pay for if they don't want to. You got everything? Okay. Yeah, it's too much. You know, trying to write a book amidst all this. And it probably wouldn't be so bad, you know, if I could just sit down and do it. If only my brain worked right. Oh no. Scrad's gonna get hooked on smithing. Dude, I would love to do smithing or glass blowing. But I do not. My shed is made entirely of wood and sawdust. So that is the last place I need to do either one of those. See Gallican, your beloved? Yeah, she's on the list. Yeah. Is there any stories I'm forgetting here? We got the Fall of Ferrandi, this super secret codenamed one that we cannot tell anybody, the Dragon story, Gallican, Zake's story, Jato's story, which might intermingle with one another. I don't know. What stream is going to pop up and show us the daggers he made? Tink, tink. I'd love it. Glass blowing, honestly, looks more fun than smithing. Only because it's faster. But smithing's pretty cool. And technically, I can't. I have a metalworking background. I do. I've been out there with the heat and the hammer, making metal work. So stretching it, cutting it, bending it. Isn't it Gallon? I was wondering. I thought it was. I didn't think Gallon or Gallican was right. I don't even know the name of my own characters. I made the king character. Yeah, I got him confused. It's Galanor. Maybe set the art up as an art book. I remember seeing that with concept and game art for older games. Yeah, okay, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I got distracted. So here's what I was thinking. So normally, you know, people, here's my money, give me the book. And maybe it's the same price and you get an early version, or maybe because you funded the project, you got it for a little cheaper. I honestly don't know. So what I was thinking of doing, this right here. Peter's wife made this. Tales from Elsewhere. And I was like, that's super dope. That's super cool. I just, minus this squirrel. Actually, let me give you another one here. I mean, so I can give you an idea. I think these will work. So I just gave her a list of 10 prompts, with the squirrel being the most defined. The rest were very loose. Like this guy, I think the prompt was traditional ttrpg slime with a sword and a shield going on an adventure. She decided to make him a donut. Like, she did the sprinkles and the frosting, but like, hey, you know, I told her to just have fun. Like, here's a loose prompt, just have fun. Nuts is a very, you know, Peter explained it to her what nuts was and how it worked, like how open and loose it is. And I think this was just a robot with a top hat, and this was a medieval knight. I might have said a medieval European knight or something, I don't know. And then she decided to do the strawberry thing. Like, she just had fun. These were all great. They were all like that, just super loose prompts. So what I was thinking, nah, we're gonna leave those up there. They're too good to get rid of. What I was thinking, Mrs. from Elsewhere makes some palm art. She does. I made ttrpg inspired by the rough story. Yeah. So let me pull in some pages here. Now, like I said, I made this in PowerPoint. So, you guys saw this earlier. That's what a page looks like. And then throughout the book, well, as a matter of fact, you saw this one too. So, ideally, if the book can be formatted the way I want, I don't know how well this will work. The idea was every page is one slimy looks like sweet roll. Yeah. Every page is one concept. So like on the shells, that's obvious. One shell, one page. But then the rest of the book is like this too. Like, here's one mechanic. It goes on one page. And I was thinking you'd kind of have like this spiral bound thing with really thick pages because there's not that many. Almost like that cardboardy kind of stuff. That way you can just reference and slide it around the table. Not that, hopefully that you wouldn't need to reference it that much. But that I like the idea of one concept, one page. So for the Kickstarter, I was wondering, it's like, okay, since this is going to be a free project, what if all the pledge tiers were your art? Like, you say what the prompt is, and then she, Mrs. Tales from Elsewhere, Mrs. the Sheriff, once we she'll draw your character based off your prompt. And the idea is to give her a loose prompt, but I'd have to figure out the level of detail. And then that way, so there's 12 shells, there would be 12 pledges. It's like, this is a shell pledge. If you want your character on the shell page, we can do that. And then I have in the back of the book is sample characters. And this is just, you know, what the player described, the shells they picked, and then there's this big wall of text of how you as the GM make that work, because this is a very loosey-goosey narrative-driven game. And then there's a spot here for some character art. So those pledges could be a little higher, because they would be a fully designed character instead of just a loosey-goosey prompt. So like that pledge would be a little higher. These would be much less. So you'd have 12 for the shells and then the random pages. And I thought that'd be a neat way. He gets 25 words max on the doodle. I thought this would be a neat way, since they're paying for something that is probably free, to put their handprint on it. They're like, pop! You know, it's kind of like when somebody pours the concrete, and put your little handprint on there, so they can put their signature in the book, and maybe even put their name down here by their little piece of art. Like, this is so and so, you know, Captain Zorblorb by user Twice Dead Mage, right? I thought that would be a neat way for them to be a part of it, because they helped fund it. Instead of saying, hey, yeah, you helped fund it, so you get it at a discount. It's like, well, it's kind of hard to discount free. So, Squirrel Barbarian, if you're looking for an artist, I'm just saying, I'm collecting them if you want to draw. For the max pledge, obviously. Yeah. The NASCAR version of fundraising, slap your art on it. Yeah. There you go. But it's all consistent art, so you don't look like a NASCAR. That's my current idea. And obviously I have to put a limit, because there's only so many pages, and I don't know if I can fit art onto every page. Would be cool if I could, but some pages are more dense than others. Like, what is a challenge roll? Like, this explains the whole game right there. So, but you know, if I get with a layout person, maybe we can make it work. So see, that's the thing. Everybody would pay for the art. Layout would still be on me, because I don't know how there would be overflow, because it's like, okay, I have this hard limit on art, and that's what all the pledges are. So I can't overflow art funds into layout, and that's fine. You know, I'm fine with taking the layout out of my own hide. Glee might not be fine with that, but we'll find out. You really enjoy NASCAR? That's fine. I mean, if you like watching cars turn left, that's fine. I worked with a guy who was a huge NASCAR fan. And he made it sound interesting. Like the science and the engineering and the planning that goes behind the pit stops and pit crew and everything, and how they... Because like... Basically, he said it's not a speed race, it's an endurance race. And like, that's what you're doing. And he was breaking it down. I was like, you know, that's actually pretty interesting. I still don't want to watch it, but that is pretty interesting. Like, I was there, man. Physical rewards for the Kickstarter. Is there a stereotype around that? Yeah, there is. Physical, I don't know what I would do. That's the thing. I wasn't, like I said earlier, the idea I had in mind for the physical book of Nuts, I don't know if that's feasible. I would have to get with a layout person and a print person. I'm 99% sure Drive-Thru TTRPG can't do that print to order, what I want to do. Like, that would require a print run, you know, of however many that requires, 100, 1,000, 10,000, whatever. If that's the only way to do it, it's not feasible. I'm not going to get Nuts in front of 10,000 people or get a store to carry it. Not being negative, being realistic. So I don't know what a physical reward would be. Get a 3D artist to take the art and make the little Getchupon walnuts. Ooh, that would be awesome. Could I got a YouTube channel. Can I make a deal with one of those plushie companies or the U-Tunes? Isn't that what it's called? Get little figures made. A limited time run. Stretch goal. But see, that is also the thing. Like, there would be such a hard limit on the fundraising because of the art limit. So having a stretch goal, like, oh, if we make this, you get your plastic figure, but because to get the plastic figures, you have to, it's kind of like the print. You'd have to order so many. So it's like, okay, I'm going to need all this. You can't just say, hey, if you want a figure, pledge at this rate. Mostly because of the restrictor plates in modern NASCAR, stock cars become too fast and the crashes and accidents were too close to lethal. The car lost oxygen privileges. A dice tray shaped like a nut cap. U2s. Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Or makeshift are the common ones. U2s and makeshift, yeah. Okay. But see, they probably require... Well, matter of fact, that's what the YouTubers do, right? They say, hey, pre-order this, and if we get enough, we'll do a shipment. Or we'll make a run. So that would not work on Kickstarter. Because... Yeah, that you wouldn't... I don't think you could do that. Because you'd have to have a pledge. A U2's pledge. And then U2's would have to look at that and say, okay, you got enough pledge. Because then if you don't have enough U2's pledges... then you would lose all that Kickstarter money because it wasn't enough to do. Yeah, that won't. 3D printing has much lower volume requirements. Yeah, you could do that for sure. The thing is, 3D printing quality is. Well, Wisp, I worked in manufacturing. I forget. Are you also in manufacturing, or are you on the architectural side? Because I'm a snob when it comes to 3D printing. Versus regular traditional manufacturing. You know, 3D printing is my AI war. Pretty sure YouTube reaches out to who they want to. Okay. Oh. So, I don't know. Art pledges. I guess what you could do, you could just say, hey, after this amount, you know, we have run out of pages, but if you still want to get your artwork made and put in the book, you know, keep pledging. You just add an extra pledge, and then you just have this page at the beginning of the book or the end, you know, wherever, the big thank you page, and it's just all the characters on there. Just blah, 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 blah. I don't know how well that would work. I guess you could do more than one page if you need to. And then I was also thinking, I don't know, maybe Glee can chime in how this would work, but it would be nice if your pledge got you your choice of art, but you also got the art piece. Like, you got the original file. I don't know how that would work with rights, because it's my art for nuts. But could you also have it? Or maybe you just get an original copy? Ooh, a sticker sheet. Had to venture printing for sure. Yeah. Civil engineering. Okay, yeah. I did some of that, but mostly manufacturing. It's a lot of metalworking, plastic working, molding and stuff. So all our print stuff we did was just quick prototype, throw it away 5 minutes later. So, though I will say, I still can't believe this worked, but there was a medical company I worked at, and we had big old fancy 3D printer that, you know, medical grade resin or whatever, if that even exists. I don't know. It was expensive. And I cannot stress for those who aren't familiar with this how dumb of an idea this was. I modeled a fixture and we printed it on the 3D printer and used that fixture to hold a piece of metal while it was being machined in the mill. Because it was such a weird part and we had no way to hold it without, you know, reinventing the wheel. We were just like, can we just 3D print a block and just shove this thing in there? It worked. Thankfully, we only had to do it twice. Twice as in we had to make 2 parts, and then after 2 parts, yeah, it just could not take the force. It was falling apart, but we did it. Do not recommend. Oh, a sticker sheet. That would metal casted minis in the nuts thing. Ooh, yeah, that would be super expensive. Though I wonder. That would be see, that's the thing. A lot of the ideas, like if a thing you could get has to be a stretch goal, but we're trying to find things they can get to get more money for stretch goals. So less chance of the manufacturing mess ups. 3D printing isn't going to leave resin trap to explode in your hands 3 months. That's always fun. Yeah, stickers would be cool. I feel like you could get those. The extra art is why I was thinking of a separate book, the one you could actually have more than pay what you want. Ooh. Yeah. Supports on a print. Yeah. Yep. But you know, you got me thinking. I'm wondering. Metal acorn. How much would those cost? Stretch goal orders to the add-ons list at the end of the Kickstarters. Oh, can you? So like we could hit the goal and then be like, hey guys, since there's interest, if you want to throw more money at this, we'll make metal acorns. You drew an otter barbarian. If you want to see what I can do with paper. Sure. I got your YouTube channel, but do you have a like an art station page thing? Probably have to be careful how you say in the chat, because it'll delete links on you. But also, I get the feeling we're almost 2 hours in and the internet hasn't messed up yet, so I think we're doing it, guys. An otter barbarian would be cool. Yeah. So stickers. Let's do this. Let's do goodies. Stickers. me that dot. Yeah, check the vids. Oh, okay. Okay. Make do with what you got in the form of nuts and acorns. I'm currently working on some advertisement banners. Want to give me some feedback? Is that for Ollie in the chat or me? Because I don't know what my feedback is going to do for you. That's one you need to see. You need to send that to Glee. She's your expert for that. Ate my art station link earlier. Oh, for Group Finder. Are you on there too? I'm saying that Group Finder guy owes me, man. He got an influx in traffic after that interview. You love the sticker sheet? Yeah, like the little stickers of these guys. Stickers of the art everybody makes or submits. Oh. And so here's the thing, right? When she made these originally, we were planning on doing color. And then I was like, yeah, color. But let's just do a bunch of black and whites. To just see how this works and get a vibe before we spend time. Because I was like, can you draw in black and white? Would it be a hassle to color it later? Like, I mean, I'll still pay you, but like, or is it a different process if you're planning on color versus black and white? She's like, no, I can draw it up and then color it in later. I was like, okay. So she sent me these and I was like, I really like the sketch look. And I tried dropping it on the pages and stuff. And I was like, I really like the way that looks. I think that matches what Nuts is better because Nuts is a very fill-in-the-blank kind of thing. That's why the skills are called shells because they're hollow. You're supposed to fill them up. So I was like, I think we're gonna stick with the black and white. So I don't know if that makes for good stickers, but they'd be cool though. They'd be cool. Oh, you're talking about... Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you, Blaze, were making a post on Group Finder for players. No, you're talking about the advertisement. I got you. What's all those eyeballs in the background? Oh, you got two different ones. Okay. You have received. Yeah, we'll put them up here. We're just putting all the art. One's much longer than the other. Can you like take up multiple ad spaces with the long one? I mean, they look cool to me, man. I like the smaller one. This one's like too long. I have to scan. I like that robot dude though. He's cool. I don't know about all them eyeballs. She's pretty cool looking. Everybody likes a strong orc lady with humongous ears. Maybe she's a goblin. Anyway. Would black and white stickers work? Or would we need to color those? They have to be in that format? Oh, okay. Interesting. One for PC and one... Ah! Okay. All the classics are black and white. Okay, well, you know, I can pretend to be a classic. She's a goblin. Alright. Well, I saw green and was like orc, and then I started looking at it. I was like, those ears look like a goblin. So stickers. Okay, now explain it to me like I'm 5, guys, because I don't ever do anything on Kickstarter. I bought Tales from Elsewhere. That was the extent of my experience. And Mighty Number 9 10 years ago. I am ashamed to admit. Stickers would be available regardless, right? So you could pledge. You can do multiple pledges. So you could say, I'm going to buy an art piece. And I'd probably have to limit those to one per person and keep, you know, prevent one person from buying 20 arts and taking up the whole book, because that wouldn't be fair. So yeah, they definitely need a way to buy more. So they could buy an art pledge and then a sticker pledge on top of that if they wanted. But how does that work? I swear the internet got green fever. Lusting after the gobos. Was it Goblin Slayer's fault? I don't know. I hadn't even seen that show. How does that work financially? Because my brain's not good at this thinking thing. You have, on Kickstarter, let's just throw out some numbers. It's $5 for the sticker pledge. Get you a sheet of stickers. How's that work on my end? Do I make the pledge? I would have to make the pledge more than what the sheet of stickers cost, right? Because if you pledge $5, let's say the sticker sheet's $5. It wasn't Goblin Slayer. Oh, okay. If the sticker sheet cost me $5 and I put the pledge at $5, that sounds like an even split. It's like, yep, I'm not taking your money. But what happens is you pledge $5, I get all the pledge money, it gets taxed. So I'm down to $4, we'll say. Now I'm losing $1 for every sticker pledge. So I'd have you charge $6. But really a sticker sheet only costs $5. So am I robbing you? Or are you paying for access to unique stickers? Because I guess you can't just take somebody else's image. I mean, I guess you could take somebody else's image and make stickers out of it, right? Or do you have to order so many stickers to be able to get some? I feel like the easiest would be a ton of limit 1 options and have everything else in the add-ons. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like I said, keep people, I wouldn't want one person to get all 12 shells. Maybe they could have a shell and a sample character and a general page. I don't know. Add-ons before the Kickstarter ends. Add-ons before the Kickstarter ends count towards the total. Yeah. Goblin Slayer is an insult to good storytelling. Is it real? Well, now I gotta go watch it. It sounded terrible. Just from what little I saw, but it sure had its 5 minutes of fame. Limit 1 for art pieces. Yeah. You really must cover overhead. The stickers are gonna be a Kickstarter. Yeah, that's not. They would be. The whole idea of organizing a Kickstarter is stressful. It's like a stream times 1,000. There's only so much you can do before you hit the go live button. It's like, how when we do our live plays, we usually meet up like 30 minutes beforehand to figure out, get everybody's cameras in the overlay, get everything all set up. Because there's only so much you can do until everybody shows up. So Kickstarter, there's only so much you can do, and then when you hit go live, then you just have to scramble like a madman. Ask Peter. A lit RPG from Japan having a terrible story? I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Was it also a lit RPG? I had no idea. I literally get angry whenever I think about the show. I don't know if I wish for stuff not to exist, but that one gets the privilege. Dang. I have heard, now I'm racking my brain, just memes. That's all I saw of Goblin Slayer, was memes. Like 1 or 2 images from the show. And it became a meme template. I actually know nothing about the story, other than there's a lot of things I can't say on YouTube happening. At least the game wasn't so bad. Kind of hard to be bad when you're using sword word as basis. Oh man. Okay, so stickers. Stickers are, I guess, affordable. Let's go look up stickers. Custom sticker in bulk. Bulk sticker printing. Single stickers. Square, I guess, for a shape. Size. Oh, that's just okay. I feel like the stickers would be small. 2 inches by 2 inches. That's a big sticker. 1.5 by 2.5 is as small as I can get. Glossy white paper. Shrink wrapping. Quantity. Oh, 1,000. Okay, so this isn't a sticker sheet. 82 bucks for 1,000 stickers? That's not bad. I have no idea what I'm doing. First episode was pure shock value. And then mediocre fantasy for the rest. I believe it. So stickers are an option. Not custom dice. As cool as that would be. Oh, Blaze, you got some feedback. And it's forced shock value, because the author is literally admitted he was only put there to get more eyes on it, and the characters had to have lived under a rock tactic. Like decal stickers, yeah. I mean, isn't shock value always forced? Some just more forced than others. Oh, man. What else can we do other than stickers? Merch, limited run merch. Ah, and then we can have fancy taglines for hats and hoodies. Want to play with my nuts? Oh, man. I know a bunch of sticker platforms we can look into later. Very cool, very cool. Your friend Nick's found a really great one. Awesome, awesome. We could get somebody to make acorn beanies. Mostly because I want one. Literal nuts in the mail. There you go. Just a pledge that supports a squirrel rescue somewhere or something. I guess that wouldn't do me any good, though, because it'd just go from me to the squirrel rescue. That wouldn't help the project. Shirts and hats, yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Set up a limited run of merch. That's a big risk, though. You just never know what type of quality you're getting from those things. But I'm not writing it off. Question mark. What color do we want for the unknown? Purple? Pink? Purple. Fran owes you an acorn beanie. She does. She does. Only good thing is that it showed what Tunnel Fighter would look like, but the bare minimum when your main character's all leatherwork ideas. Oh man. It would be super cool. Your leatherwork suggestion made me think of it. It would be cool if I could get in touch with some what's the word? Etsy type of people, little crafters, and be like, hey, can you like set up a temporary production run of this type of item for this Kickstarter? That could be some leather work there. More use than doctors. Coincidence. These are just colors I usually go to. Embossed bracelets. Stuff. And this quotes. Because I like that idea. That would be cool. We've looped the music. Let's put this. Yeah, gotta get your blocks in the right place. Leather sling with an acorn in the pouch. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But how would you... Well, no, they'd get... Okay, never mind. I almost asked a dumb question. Because the Etsy person would get all the money, right? Because you set the pledge. You'd have to get with the Etsy person and be like, hey, how much for thing? And they say, I don't know, $30 each. And it's like, okay, I set the pledge at $35 or whatever for taxes. But see, that's the thing. I keep trying to be even. I'm supposed to be getting money to pay for the layout. Because the art will, you know, ideally pay for itself. Because there's a limited number of pledges. So everybody does that. It's like, okay, the art's paid for. It's done. Overflow goes to the layout. But it feels weird, you know, if the Etsy person is like, yeah, it's $30, and then I say, okay, well, it's $35 for a pledge to cover taxes, and then another $5, so now it's $40 because I'm supposed to be making money off of this, and it feels weird. But I guess I'm drumming up the interest, you know, finder's fee. Is that how that works? Sling rocks at wild rabbits. Oh no. Tasty bunnies. You need the money. Oh, that is not enough margin. Yeah, well, I'm just throwing out random numbers. But you get the idea. Like, is that how that works? Or am I insulting the Etsy person? Like, hey, you're charging $30, but I'm gonna charge them $40 and keep $10 for myself. Feels weird, but I guess that's how it works. Silly me trying to be fair. I feel the sticker sheet would have more margin for that. Yeah. I just got to make sure I don't put myself in the hole. Dave almost did that. His Kickstarter isn't live yet. It was for Mast Paws, and I was looking over his Kickstarter page, and one of the rewards was, what was it, Glee? It was like some kind of upholstery fabric thing with a big map on it, and it was a stretch goal. Not a pledge. It was a stretch goal. So I was like, Dave, did you calculate this in? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, if you hit this stretch goal, everybody at this tier and below, a certain tier, gets this fabric map thing. And I was like, he's like, yeah, you know, it's why it's a stretch goal. And I was like, no. If you hit that stretch goal and stop, it'll probably work out. What if 1 million people sign up for this thing? Now you have to print 1 million fabric things. Did you budget for that? Like, he didn't. I think he kind of missed. He's like, oh man, yeah, because if he got more and more backers, he would get farther and farther and farther in the hole. Because I was just like, yeah, man, I don't want to be in that boat. And I've heard a lot of people of, you know, their Kickstarters exploding, and then it ended up costing them a lot more than they thought. So trying not to make that mistake. You're basically a reseller in a very loose sense of the relationship. What happened to Dave? Some kind of canvas on fabric? I forget. Yeah. We got that fixed, though. Took that one out. But that could be a pledge, so it's like, you know exactly how many you're getting. And each and every one of them's paid for, instead of, oh, we hit this amount, now everybody prior gets one. It's like, ooh, no. So, That could have been bad. Because Mass Pause, I think, is gonna do all right. Scaling is always a danger. Yeah. Yeah. Risky business. So let's say bracelet. So we'll just throw some random things over here. Oops. Dice bags. Some other little goodies you can have handcrafted. Beanies. Socks. Some handcrafted socks. Dice trays. That would be an easy one. Dice trays. Cause like $3,000 machine can make 50 dice trays at a time out of wood. Just load up the wood sheet. Don't ask me how I know this. So that would be an easy one to have custom made. And that one... Yeah. That would be a good one. It wouldn't be a super fancy dice tray, but you know, it'd be a little something cool. It holds nothing but D12s. Nuts. Oh, you could even make the tray because of how nuts is. Your character sheet almost. That's something for later. Suffering from any wood, like laser engraving on art, especially. Yeah, well, that's what I was just, to get into. Check out Laser Makes Its Awesome website. Different page, same chapter. Yep. Yeah, lots of laser engraving stuff. Dice trays. Ooh, man. You could laser these onto a piece of wood for sure. That could be a pledge. Random numbers. $100. You get your art put on the page you want, and a wood plaque. That would be cool. That would be an add-on, like you buy the page and then add on. Do you want a wood thing of your character? But kind of risky, because like, what if you didn't like your character? Some weird, awful reason. Fabio. The latest. It went away. Where'd it go? The latest Tagmar Kickstart had steel sword. Whoa. But it was limited to 10 or 20 swords. I think it's sold out of it. Yeah, I can imagine. Who doesn't like swords? Yeah, man, we could. Okay. See, this is the problem. I'm giving myself more work. See, I got all this work to do. And now this purple stuff right here, that's something for me to research. But I guess technically it's part of this project, so it's fine. 30 swords, just checked. Okay. Were the swords, like, I would imagine they were part of the thing, like, related. So, like, if it was Lord of the Rings or something, right? It was you'd get a steel sting, right? I was thinking the limit one idea would be that people could buy particular pages for their art. Is that? But no, that's the idea. So like the shells, there's 12 of them, right? So that keeps a person who is financially able to do so and just really likes the project from buying all 12 shells. This lets other people get their handprints on it. What's up, Dave? I was just talking about you and Mass Paws and your fabric map you wanted to make. Good timing. But yeah, that lets other people make the pledges and get to be part of it by putting their handprints on it. Which is desperately why we need add-ons that people can, like, if they just want to support, they can be like, oh, let me buy this. Now, obviously, it might be more appealing to some to want to get more handprints, and that's why I'm thinking, okay, you can have one of each. So you could buy a shell page, you could buy a standard page, and you could buy one character example if you just really wanted to be all up in the book. So, priorities. I don't have priorities. I'm just a scrambled mess. Yeah, we were talking about how things can scale on Kickstarter out of disproportionately. Like, you wanted to give that fabric thing to everybody at a certain tier once you hit a stretch goal, but then I was like, well, what if this Kickstarter gets big and you have a lot of people at that tier that you suddenly have to pay for? Like, the stretch goal only covered so much, but as you continue to scale, you would have got farther and farther and farther in the hole. Leave a final pledge with a general art support, maybe making it in that other book or extras page. I do like the idea of having the big page with just all the artwork on there. It would be so messy, though. I don't know how you'd do that. It could be cool. Yeah, Scramble Mess, that is why we work well together. You scrambled. I really like the idea of getting other creators on this, like crafters. Get more people involved, like community thing, you know. Instead of just, I mean, stickers are cool, but instead of shipping it off to, you know, a faceless company that prints a bazillion stickers, it's like, hey, no, here is a creator that makes laser engraved wood burned art. This person does this, you know. It's like you're supporting Nuts and me, but you're also supporting this person too. It's like a double whammy for your dollar. Stretch goals for Nuts? No, we're working on things people can give me money for. Because the way I want to do Nuts Kickstarter is a very set amount of pledges that you can get for the artwork, because it's like each pledge is your piece of art, so there's a limited amount of space in the manual. So I was looking for other things they can buy if they wanted to support the project more, since that has such a hard limit on it. Bagley, maybe make them 4-section pages with little ooh. I guess you could just have extra pages sprinkled throughout the book, too. And you know, what you could do is you could just say, hey, buy an art. You might have been suggesting this earlier. Just buy an art piece. It won't make it in the book, but you get your art piece. And put poor Peter's wife to work. Could do that. Give them, if they do that, then they can have a longer character limit for their prompt. Glasswork ideas like Nuts thing window art. Oh man, I love glass, but I don't like shipping glass. That could be bad. Pages add to cost significantly. They do. Ms. Elsewhere gonna be busy. Yeah, she is. I'll put her to work. She had fun drawing them, though, from what I understand. I don't know if she'll have fun drawing 200 of them, but... She's starving and needs the money because Peter spends all of her tails from elsewhere. It's true. It's true. He's going to be spending it on pizza, feeding all the people, helping him box it up and mail it out. That's what he's gonna be spending it on. Pizza and beer. I like this idea. I do need some specifics though. Dice bags, I think, might be on the lower end. Bracelets is kind of a weird thing. Beanies might be too difficult. Dice trays, definitely up to the forefront here. And this one too. What else could you put your artwork on? I guess you could put it on a piece of glass. Actually, we tried. Me and Glee, we ordered for something Etsy not too long ago. It was a cup that was supposed to have something either laser engraved or sandblasted onto it. And I remember we weren't happy with the result. And now I forgot what it was. Like they didn't give us a proof or anything. They just sent it and it wasn't very good. Like it was obviously not good. It's like, you shouldn't have sent this out. Like you should have looked at that and said, that don't look right. Hey, you can build supervillain or superhero. And Lynn said she wants to draw them all. Dude, Lynn's fun. She's a lot of fun. I like her artwork too. I was thinking bracelets could be a good way for goofy sus quotes you were... Oh. Yeah. Okay. And like little leather bracelets might be kind of neat, maybe. Bracelets with silly nuts quotes. I played with Scrat's nuts. I support nuts. Your shirt. Back to work for Grimwood. Alright, man. Get back to it. Long live nuts. So if I just fire open Etsy. Etsy. Let's just scroll Etsy and see what we get. Yeah, y'all can see it. Should nothing inappropriate show up on Etsy, I don't think. Get me banned. Alright, earrings? Nope. Necklaces? Taxidermy? Maybe we don't do taxidermy. I'm getting yelled at in the hallway. There you go, there's some leather working. Some old leather cozies, koozies, whatever they're called. I really like the idea of the laser etching on the wood of your character. Or if you want to be a super fancy, you could get a hand. Well, that would be weird. Because you'd have somebody draw your character, and then somebody would have to redraw it on the wood. Yeah, that'd be kind of weird. Maybe we don't do that. We'll just laser it, give them the file, and... Nut and prosper. Hey, what's up, Omega? I ain't seen you around these parts. Send everyone a squirrel, a little bit of your hair on it, and you get a fragment of scratch prime. Look, man, my hair is thinning right here. I can only spare so much. Okay, it's been so long since I've been to Etsy, I was thinking I could just scroll more than this. Today's big deals. Can I click on that? I can't click on that. Wood pieces, little puzzle pieces. Some crochet. Bed sheets. Categories. Arts and collectibles. Look at that. Ooh. Get a a felt figure of your character. That would be expensive. Later twice did. That's as bad as selling his bathwater. I like Nut and Prosper though, that's pretty good. Nut puzzles. Just big acorn puzzle. See, I don't know if this person would be able to do... I mean, obviously this is why you reach out and talk to them. But if I put clothes and armor bits on them, like these are just the animal themselves, so... Also, I'm thinking moss and stone. Felt, yeah, felt. Oh, well, here you go, here you go. Here's one that's got a little wizard hat on him. And remember, your Nuts characters can be, they're not limited to animals. This ain't moss and stone. Oh, let's see. Where's made by Oaken Arc Felt? Okay, so they got a little person right there. Okay, they could probably make it work. There's a squirrel. Look at that. It's got a little apron skirt thingy on and everything. Holding an apple. Got a bow in her head. Look at that guy. That one got it on his head. That one's a fat one. Look at that guy. Alright. Alright. I think they could do it. They can make it work. Oh, look at that. There's a little hedgehog. With an acorn. What do they do? Does the acorn? The acorn is felt too. Look at that. Just get a giant felt acorn. That's pretty slick. Yeah, they do look a bit weird, don't they, Blaze? It's what I was thinking, but I was trying not to say it. I mean, some of them were photoshopped for sure, like with the bubbles. But one, yeah, here's a video of them. An acorn to hold dice and maybe a tree attaches a dice tower. Ooh. Collage on wood would be the puzzles. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a little, what do you call it? Image touch up. Make them pop. No. Dice towers. Because you can make a dice tower pretty easy out of wood, flat pieces. Cut them all out and then snap. You can just snap them together. That's it. Dang it. I would have to go back to my manufacturing days and install SolidWorks and design a dice tower that could just be snapped together with wood. No gluing required. That way you could break it down yourself and take it to your cons and conventions and stuff like that. Speaking of, apparently there's a blues con in Memphis in like 2 weekends. I just found out today. But it also makes shipping a whole lot easier and safer. A Where's Waldo book, but you use a line work version of the Scrat Squirrel art. Oh. Y'all got some good ideas. You have applied to Glee's feedback. I don't know what her feedback was. All free. Do I have to pick one? I would go with all free because I'm a cynic and would see that and be like, 2,500 plus options free? How many of them? Just one? Maybe 100% free. I don't know. It's nice though. Oh, I see. You took it from there. and put it. Okay. Yeah. That definitely looks better. Turns out she knows what she's doing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm supposed to be in a meeting. Give me 2 shags. Dang it. Like, I guess I did say I was going to be available at this time. We ran over. All right. So I'm going to have to go. I got people on a call waiting for me. Let's see. Where was it for you, maybe? The Dice Tower, there are multiple standard breakdown designs. Yeah. That could be cool, though. Make it like a tree. Anyway, I'm gonna have to bounce. I hate to do that to y'all, but I did tell these people I would be available at this time half an hour ago. Thankfully, they haven't been waiting for half an hour. So I'm gonna bounce. Appreciate y'all coming around. We got a lot of cool ideas. I'm going to look into the Etsy thing. Welcome aboard, Ollie, I think was the name of the guy. I will check out your video for your barbarian otter and anybody else who joined. So I'm out. See y'all later. Gotta go. I gotta find the stop button. Or I'm gonna end up streaming the whole call. There it is. Go.